Fish Baby Daddy here. Just want to show you a progression on an evolution of the 75 gallon that I have. I'm going to give you kind of like a play-by-play with some videos and kind of show you some time lapse with I had bare bottom here. Had my Pecco Severum in there. She was great. Really good size on her, and I wanted to get her a new home so she had a little bit more room to kind of get around, and loved her to death. Awesome color. And I'm going to miss her, but I know that she's better off in a bigger home now. I had a bunch of Araguaia dwarf cichlids, and I was able to rehome those, and there was like 25 in there, and so it was time for me to kind of make it a new facelift with the tank, and I'm going to do a little bit of a time lapse with a couple things that I was doing, and kind of show you what I've kind of evolved the tank to now. So let's get started. So what you saw there was just kind of like a time lapse where we had the bare bottom tank. I had the Severum and those Araguaias in there, and I had a couple other fish. And then what I was able to do is you can kind of see how I was able to remove some of that stuff, get some of those fish out of there. And back behind me now, you're going to see predominantly this tank is now just Gymnogeophagus Balzaniis. A couple different sizes. The goal is to get a nice ratio of males and females to see if we can balance it out a little bit. I know Gymnogeophagus Balzaniis really like sand, so we want to actually get a sand substrate. Want to reposition some of the wood, and hopefully I can get some different types of plecos in here too. Right now I got a royal pleco in here. Love the L27 I got in there, and got a real small little snowball pleco, and everything's going good in here. So let's kind of look at it and kind of revamp how I was able to get it done. Kind of want to angle it a little bit differently here because the reflection off of the glass on the other tanks is a little bit distracting, but it seems like this angle works a little bit better. What I wanted to do is just kind of move some of the stuff around. Wanted to reposition some of the wood, just to see if it can get a little bit of a facelift, open up a little bit more of the space on the ground of the tank so the Balzaniis could actually swim around a little bit. Got some giant zebra Daniels still in there. I got 3 of those in there. I like keeping them in there just because they act as a dither fish. And dither fish are great because what they do is they kind of just dart around the tank, and it keeps everything else a little bit calmer because it kind of gives everyone a little bit of relief of, okay, well, if they're swimming around and they're above me, then I can relax. And so it kind of calms everything else down. But I think the big goal for me is I want to get the females in here, especially the one that I have that's kind of a little bit more grown. I want to get her to have some fry, and I want to be able to make sure that we can actually look at some of these fry in the future. What's kind of unique about the Balzaniis is the males will start developing like a hump on their head, and they do that to kind of show off the show off for the females. And then what happens is that instead of actually them just laying eggs and then guarding the eggs as they hatch, the female will actually put all the eggs in her mouth once they're fertilized, and she will actually keep those in her mouth until they're grown to a certain length, and then they're off free swimming. So hopefully we can get some action here. I want to be able to get enough space for them so they can feel like they can roam around a little bit. And I got enough space, I think, in here, opening up a little bit of the tank floor space for the royal pleco too. Plenty of wood choices for him, just to kind of get around. But I really think that I feel good about the tank right now. It got a nice little facelift, got a little bit of diversity with some of the wood still shooting down, but I wanted to get some of the wood to actually kind of project out from the rocks. And then I was able to, from the right side, actually get a little bit of that wood to kind of angle down, almost kind of get a little more of a root structure. So it kind of feels like it's a little bit more natural. Pretty happy with the mixture of rock and wood. And then with the sand substrate, I think it adds a nice touch. So kind of give it a little bit of a facelift. I think the fish are happy, and I think there's plenty of space. I think sometimes people make a big mistake where they actually feel like they got to put a little bit more rock, they got to put more wood in, and sometimes less is more. I know sometimes I'm guilty of putting too much in a tank, but I really like the way the layout is of this and the way it feels. Kind of gives it more of a natural look, but I want to have enough space for those Balzaniis to kind of roam around as much as possible and sift through that sand. So just want to give it a couple minutes just so you can kind of enjoy it. Maybe get some ideas too for aquascaping, just to kind of see how it plays out. These are manzanita sticks, manzanita wood. And then on the right-hand side, I got that wood that's actually on a slate, and I just have it at an angle, and I have it kind of hidden, the slate rock that's attached to that wood on the right-hand side. I have it just kind of hidden with some rocks. So just kind of give it a little bit of different angle. Things look a little bit different, but I think sometimes different's good. Well, that about wraps up for this video. I think I like the new tank. I like the facelift, how it looks. And I think the Balzaniis are pretty happy in there. And until next time, Fish Baby Daddy.